Welcome to Cyber Guardians. Today, we're diving into how attackers can exploit your ISP addresses and what that means for your personal data. Doctor, can you explain why ISP addresses are such a critical target for cybercriminals?
Absolutely. An ISP address or IP address acts like your digital home address on the internet. If attackers obtain it, they can map your online activity, attempt unauthorized access, or even launch attacks like DDoS. The risk is amplified if your IP is static or easily discoverable.
That's concerning. So, before we discuss defenses, could you elaborate on how attackers typically access these addresses?
Certainly. Attackers may scan public networks, exploit unsecured Wi-Fi, or use phishing techniques to trick users into revealing their IP. They can even leverage compromised IoT devices, which often transmit IP information without proper safeguards.
Let's transition to protection strategies, starting with AI-driven intrusion detection. How do these systems monitor network traffic for threats, and what sets them apart from traditional methods?
AI-driven intrusion detection systems, or IDS, use machine learning to sift through vast volumes of network data. Unlike static rule-based systems, AI can adaptively learn normal traffic patterns and spot anomalies, like sudden spikes from unknown IPs that might signal a brute force attempt.
Could you give a real-world example of such a tool in action?
Certainly, tools like Zeek or Suricata, when paired with AI models, continuously analyze incoming packets. For instance, if they observe a device suddenly making thousands of requests per second, the AI can flag this as potential malware activity, even if the attack signature is new.
Building on that, let's talk behavioral analytics. How does AI recognize unusual user behavior to prevent unauthorized access?
AI models track typical user behaviors, such as login times, frequency, and locations. If a user who always logs in from New York is suddenly accessing from Moscow at midnight, behavioral analytics can flag this as suspicious. It's similar to how banks monitor credit card usage for fraud.
Are there notable cases where behavioral analytics stopped a breach?
Yes. In 2022, a major cloud provider used AI-driven analytics to detect account takeovers based on sudden deviations in user access patterns, successfully preventing unauthorized data downloads before any damage occurred.
Let's move to geofencing. How does AI enhance geolocation-based defenses, and what practical benefits does this offer for protecting ISP addresses?
AI-powered geofencing tools analyze the geographic origin of IP addresses in real time. If an access attempt originates outside a user's expected region, the system can automatically block or require verification. This is vital for businesses with region-specific operations.
Can you compare this to traditional IP filtering?
Traditional filtering uses static blacklists, which are easily bypassed. AI geofencing, by contrast, adapts to evolving user locations and can detect sophisticated bypasses, like VPN spoofing locations, making it far more robust.
Another key defense is dynamic IP blocking. How does machine learning improve rate limiting and IP bans compared to standard approaches?
Machine learning allows systems to set adaptive thresholds for blocking based on historical traffic data. If most users fail login attempts 3 times, but an outlier fails 20 times rapidly, AI can instantly block that IP, even as overall patterns fluctuate.
What happens if attackers change tactics to avoid these limits?
Great question. AI models can retrain on new data, learning evolving attack strategies. For example, if attackers slow down attempts to evade detection, the system can spot subtle anomalies over longer periods, staying one step ahead.
Distributed denial of service, or DDoS, attacks are a major threat. How does AI help in detecting and mitigating these large-scale assaults?
AI analyzes real-time traffic for telltale DDoS patterns, such as sudden surges from numerous IPs. Unlike manual setups, AI-based systems like AWS Shield or Cloudflare can instantly identify and block malicious traffic, keeping services online even during massive attacks.
Are there any limitations to these AI models?
They sometimes struggle with low and slow DDoS attacks, where traffic is disguised as normal. However, AI's pattern recognition continues to improve, especially when models are trained on diverse, up-to-date attack data.
Attackers often use VPNs and proxies to mask their real IPs. How can AI distinguish between legitimate and potentially malicious VPN or proxy use?
AI systems cross-reference IPs with known VPN and proxy lists, but also analyze traffic behavior. For example, if an IP frequently changes locations in a suspicious pattern or routes through data centers instead of residential networks, AI flags these as higher risk.
Can this result in false positives, say, for remote workers?
Yes, context is crucial. AI systems are increasingly incorporating user profiles and business policies, so if a remote worker is expected to use a VPN, that's considered in the risk assessment, reducing unnecessary blocks.
Switching gears, let's discuss honeypots. What role do AI-enhanced honeypots play in defending against ISP address exploitation?
Honeypots act as decoy systems to attract attackers. With AI, they don't just log activity, they analyze attack methods in real time, learning new tactics and updating defenses elsewhere. It's like setting a trap that teaches itself how to become more effective over time.
Have honeypots led to meaningful security improvements in practice?
Absolutely. In enterprise environments, AI-analyzed honeypot data has been used to patch vulnerabilities proactively, lower response times, and even identify attacker tools before they're widely deployed.
Let's talk about what happens after a threat is detected. How does AI automate incident response, and what are the real-world benefits of this approach?
AI-driven automation can instantly block suspicious IPs, alert administrators, and trigger multi-factor authentication within seconds. This rapid response is critical, as even a few minutes delay can mean major data loss or service disruption.
How does this automation compare to manual incident handling?
Manual responses are slow and prone to human error, especially during complex attacks. AI-driven systems reduce workload, increase consistency, and can scale defenses across thousands of endpoints simultaneously.
Let's dig deeper into anomaly detection. How do supervised and unsupervised learning approaches help identify new, unknown threats?
Supervised models learn from labeled attack data, catching known threats efficiently. Unsupervised models, meanwhile, find outliers in network traffic without prior example deal for detecting novel or evolving attack types that haven't been seen before.
Can you give an analogy for how unsupervised learning works here?
Think of it like airport security spotting luggage that looks out of place, even if they've never seen that specific item before. The system flags anything that deviates from the norm, prompting further inspection.
To bring it all together, what does a comprehensive AI-driven defense system look like for protecting ISP addresses and personal data?
A robust architecture starts with data collection using tools like Zeek or Suricata to monitor traffic. Data is then cleaned and pre-processed for machine learning models, which classify activity as normal or suspicious. Automated systems respond instantly, and the models are continually updated based on new threats.
How accessible are these solutions for smaller organizations or individuals?
Cloud-based services now offer scaled versions of these tools, making advanced AI-driven security attainable for personal users and small businesses. The key is to layer defenses and regularly adapt to emerging threats, regardless of organization size.